Good morning, guys. Today is March 23rd, 2017. Yesterday I took a day off. I had two losing days back to back. One was about $18 on Tuesday, and on Monday I had about $80 loss. So definitely, Monday was a big loss. Yesterday was pretty good, or not, sorry, yesterday on Tuesday was pretty good. It wasn't bad. It was a play that I thought could work, and it didn't pan out. Although it did ended up working, it just at that moment it didn't pan out, so I just kind of cut my loss. But on Monday, if you guys go watch my video from the 21st, it's on my YouTube channel. It was kind of a couple bad plays back to back, and then trying to just make some money, trying to lower that loss, just ended up making it bigger. So today, took a day off, had to clear my head. Today I'm back, I'm feeling better. And the markets are looking good too. Yesterday, I looked into markets, although I wasn't trading, I was just kind of around watching it. It wasn't, it was a pretty slow day. A lot of people were saying that on Twitter as well. So just nothing really was moving. There wasn't much opportunity, but today seems to be like, there's something in the books, something that, cooking, some sort of momentum probably will come into the market today, it seems like, just based on the pre-market and some of the stocks that are, moving. So first one we'll start with is SSH. Now SSH, obviously, the news came out this morning. It's one of the lowest floats right now that is on the Gapper. It's a float of 1.57 million, so very low float. There was a press release out about strategic growth plan for the company. So that's obviously looking good. People are looking excited. Traders are looking excited about it. So it's just moving up. So it has already moved up about 35% on the day. But this is a kind of stock that does potentially move about 50 to 100% on a day. In the past it has made some major moves. I wanted to kind of hang around below 3 and consolidate before it broke through in pre-market, but it has already broken 3. 305 seems to be the top right now in pre-market, so potentially we'll look for a break of 305 and then look to jump in. The target then basically becomes 320 with a 10-cent stop loss. So if we just go here in there, if it breaks 305 once the market opened, then the first target basically 320 right here. So that's what we're looking for on SSH. The next one we have is HTGM. HTGM has a float of 2.37 million, so very low float again. It had a press release about obtaining a CE mark. It is a healthcare related industry, so I don't know much about it. But there is a catalyst out. The only thing is the catalyst came out after hours, so a lot of the move happened basically after hours. Yesterday, got up to 380s, and then this morning got up to 395, and then pre-market has just kind of been looking weak. It's just been pulling back. So down here somewhere in the 318, 315s, there is some support that's building pre-market. Now, if it can start curling back up here, we'll probably like to see that, but I don't know how it's going to look when it opens up. So for this, we'll be looking for a red to green move potentially. If it does, starts going, but then doesn't really drop, just kind of hangs and then starts coming back up, we'll look for a red to green move on this definitely, or for a good entry, even if it starts running, maybe a break of 350, right? If it starts running here, once the market open and pulls back, consolidates, and then breaks 350, that will be a good entry point for the target of 380, 395. Potentially break of 395 could open up door to the 4s. So there's that. Third one we're looking at is CGIX. It has a float of 13.37 million, so the biggest floater out of all. There's earnings report out on this, so it's an earnings winner. The only thing with this is it's in a 5-cent tick increment, so it's going to move at 5 cents, which could be a good thing, if you get a good entry, but also could be a bad thing if you get, if you buy a little too high. So Potentially what we're looking for this is good volume on this, and then the break of 340, because break of 340 is the pre-market high here, which is also the high of this candle previous on the daily chart. It's the high of 340. So potentially break of that could open up room to the 350s, and then the break of 350, 340 seems to be some serious resistance on this stock. So break of 340 could open up room to 350, and then maybe potentially we can get up to the 380s. So that would be a good target on that. So that's all for the pre-market, guys. Palm is another one, but I'm just kind of keeping it on watch just to see. It likes to run, but I don't really see it really doing anything today. Mine needs a bit of pullback before it makes another move up, but we'll just keep it on here. So we'll be back once the markets are open, or once I'm in some sort of trade, or I'm looking to get in some trade. Until then, I'll be just kind of looking, making sure everything looks good. We're not gonna jump into anything, especially the stocks that HTGM has already moved about a point, and 56% on the day. SSH is about 33%. So SSH seems to be one that's hanging there. It's high on the market before the market opens. So I potentially feel like this could be a good play, especially with such a low float. We could see a nice squeeze come into this. So anyways, guys, we'll be back in a bit. Alright, guys, so HTG or SSH, sorry, I did try getting in here right at 307, but didn't get executed there. Here's my order at 307, right at the market open, 9:30:01, but I just didn't get executed. Now it's pulling back, so we're not gonna just jump into it. It still needs some time to consolidate. We're not gonna just jump in here on this candle here. HTGM is dropping as well. CGIX is just kind of hanging around 325 area, so we'll just be watching it. SSH is going red on now, so I think it was just the first initial push, so good thing I took my order off. It was good on that first push, as it got up, but it was pretty quick. And it just, mine didn't get executed. Although I had my order in at 9:30:01, it's as soon as it opened, a second later, it still didn't get it. So that's fine. It opened at 303, so we'll probably look for a red to green move, but it looking pretty heavy. So looking a lot of sellers coming in, dumping their shares, people taking profits. So it could potentially have room to run. We're just gonna wait on it to see if it can make red to green move on good volume. If it can dip down maybe a bit, get some support going, and then we'll look to go. HTGM is dropped about 40 cents. It's holding at 3. So I'll keep you guys in the loop, see what's going on. Okay, so I basically got out at 291. This candle just slipped, and I couldn't get an exit right away, but I got out at 291. So so that's it for that, basically. Otherwise, SSH is not running. What did run though? CGIX did run. I was in HTGM, but CGIX here, sorry, I'll bring it up. CGIX ran. It did break 340 here, run up to 360. That was some move there, but it was pretty fast, probably. Getting out on the especially the 5 cents increments, but I don't know. We'll watch HTGM. We'll see what happens here. It's kind of coming back up, but it might just be weak now. It might not. I got in on this just because as it was curling up, I figured, if this starts curling up, we can easily see red to green move on this, because it happens on a lot of stocks where stocks would start curling up, and then you would basically get this it'll drop, and then it'll start curling up, and then boom, it starts spiking. And that's what I got in for, anticipating that move. But I could have got out in the break even here, just because it wasn't breaking 310, but I just wanted to give it a little time, because I felt like it tap here, the next candle might just be able to push through it. But that wasn't the case. So we're good with here, nothing happening. um, TRWI is not doing anything. HTGM is red. SSH is red. DCIX is running. Let's see what's going on there. DCIX is running. The only thing is with this, it's below, it's there. There's no news on DCIX, so we're not gonna trade it. I feel like it's just a little bump, little move up, and it's probably gonna either get stuffed at 2 or just not run from there. So we'll stay away from it. VSR ran. But no pullback on that. CGIX is at 330 now, came below 340 again. 340 seems to be the point where things are. So CGIX was a good trade. On the break of 340, jump in at 340, you know, jets over to 345, does go to 330, does go below 340, but then pops right over. So that would have been a good play there. HTGM is dropping. Good thing I cut my loss there. Again, bigger loss than I wanted. I only wanted a 10-cent loss, but the 10 cent was hit pretty quick here, 298. Even when I got in, you know, it hit 298, but then it started popping over. So I was like, okay, you know what? That's fine. It's gonna pop over, break this 310, but it just couldn't do it. And you know what? That was a good point to just get out. Just cut your loss. You know, take 4 or 5 cents loss right there and just move out, rather than this drop happening. Because as soon as this drop happened, I just I tried getting out. What was my orders? Yeah, see, at 298 it didn't get executed. So I tried getting out at 298. It just didn't get executed. It broke below. So I was like, okay, shoot. And then I canceled it, and then I got out at 291. So I don't know. Anyways, we'll just be watching it, see what happens. Alright guys, so I got back into HTGM on this 5-minute setup here for the break of first 5-minute candle. You know, there's some volume coming in. It's over this. There you go. We just broke 310. That's good. So we'll see if we can run here now. Obviously, red to green move would be awesome to see. But that's quite a few while away target. So maybe our first target would be 320. A break of 320, we could potentially see some sort of long volumes coming into this. So we'll see what happens here. My entry is 3.03. So we'll just be looking for that. Obviously, we just broke 310. We might need a little pullback here, but we might start running back up here again. That's what we would like to see. There you go. 37, 308. So it's the first 5 minute to candle make a new high. You know, a little pullback. First 5 minute to make a high, pull back on 1 minute. We're watching the 5 minute. If the 5 minute basically goes red, I'll bail out, which is the open was on 5 minute was 3. So if it goes below 3, I'll bail out on that. But we'll just watch the 5 minute setup, because the 1 minute setup would be you know, it's a little choppier than 5 minute. 5 minute might be a bit more cleaner. So we're gonna see if 302. You know, if it starts pushing up, if the 5-minute candle closes a bit high, there you go, 303, 306, there you go. If this candle basically closes, you know, near 315, the next candle would potentially have some good movement in it. The next 5-minute candle, so this one was basically 945, so 950. The next 5-minute candle is coming up. We just want to see that this candle closes high. We don't want to see close too push down. We don't want to see a long wick on the top there. So we'll see what happens here. There's obviously some sellers here in this 303, 305. I'm just gonna pause the video. I'll bring you guys back in if I get out or something. Alright, so basically I got out the second candle. As soon as it opened, it went below 3, and I basically just sold. See what happens here. It's just looking, it's looking a little heavy. I mean, this kind of move right here, you know, the first 5 minutes to make a high, and then the first pullback on 1 minute, and then make a new high. This should be just basically ripping, and you know, volume coming in. If that's not happening, there's just no point of testing and trying it out. So not a bad, you know, I got in at 3.3 or 3.4, out at 3.1. So you know, kept my loss small on that one, which is nice. As you guys can see now, it's still kind of holding up. I just didn't like that, you know, on the since I got in on this first 5-minute setup, I didn't like how this couldn't just keep running, or you know, couldn't run to potentially make that red to green move on it. So so 2 plays on HTGM today, guys, down about 48 bucks with the fees and stuff. So that's all right. Obviously not the way I wanted to come back on a Thursday, especially with things moving. But I feel like most of these stocks, you know, they're just a little too stuffed pre-market. You know, that's what I don't like when you know, things move pre-market a lot. Then you just don't really get any follow through once the markets are open, because people are just basically short selling. People are just not letting the stock run towards the bull's direction. So you know, with this, with HTGM, I mean, you know, good. This play here, maybe I should have waited to see if it'll actually open up. Look, this just coming right back up. Look how annoying that is. Right, it's coming right back up. Got up to 315 again. Now got stuff there and got pushed down. So anyways, I'm done trading for now. I took 2 trades. Usually, you know, my rule again is 1 trade. If it's a loser, then I'll basically stop. The only reason I took the second trade, because I felt like, you know what, since I got in a little too early, maybe it just wasn't ready. Maybe needed a bit more pullback consolidation, and then so I waited for the 5-minute setup, and that's where I got in. And you know, it looked like it was gonna work once I got in, because it, you know, instantly took out 310, went up to 315, and I was like, you know what, looking good here. But then it just got stuffed again, just started getting pushed back again, and it just couldn't really run despite it being a low float. So well, that's pretty much it, guys. Won't be trading again today. I'm just gonna review my trades, make sure that, you know, maybe I can spot something that I did wrong. I know with HTGM, I think the first trade I prematurely entered, just because I was watching that U-shape and I was like, yup, it's gonna work, and I kind of entered. I should have waited for some sort of you know, indication, some sort of good volume to come in, and then a pullback before getting in. So the second one was a good, because I got in on a specific setup, which was the 5-minute setup. The first 5 minutes after the pullback to make a high with the volume coming in, I got in, and you know, the goal was, even on the 1 minute, you know, the 5 and 9 EMA were about to cross, and I was like, you know what, if the 5 EMA goes above 9 EMA, usually that's bullish, and if the, you know, 5 minute makes a new high, that's bullish. So I basically jumped in on that, got up to 315, couldn't really run, and then pulled back, and I basically got out, you know, with a 3-cent loss. So really great trade, the second one. The first one, I felt like I could have managed it a little better, especially with my exit. I could have got out right when it wasn't breaking this 310 level. I could have just bailed, but I kind of held, and you know, I paid for it. So those are the little things that you just gotta get faster at, gotta be able to spot those things faster, be like, okay, if 310 doesn't break here on this candle, I'm bailing out. And as soon as it didn't break, I should have just bailed out on the bid. Whether it was 305, 304, whatever it was, it would have been better than 291. So those are the just kind of things that I need to remember. Those are the things I need to get better at. And taking small trades, taking small shares, is something that's kind of making me better. CGIX was probably the best play for today. First on the break of 340 for the push towards 350, 360, and then it pulled back, and then the first 5 minutes to make a high here. Again over 340, it was 340 went all the way up to 365. So CGIX, 5-cent ticker, a bit better play, but we kind of focused our attention on HTGM, and HTGM just didn't really come through as we expected it to, despite the whole that's what sometimes happens when news comes after hours. A lot of people have already traded yesterday, so today not a lot of traders are interested in it, or not a lot of buyers are coming in on a stock. So those are the kind of things you can't really plan for. You can't really know until you know. I just need to be more I think what's going on this week and even today, for example, was I was just kind of like, I was watching these plays, but I wasn't letting the markets kind of guide me. What I mean by that is on this trade, when 310 didn't break, it should have been my clue to just basically bail out. That's what the markets were saying, that hey, 310 is not gonna break. It's there's resistance, so just cut your loss. And I just didn't listen to it, and then I ended up basically cutting down here. And then same thing with here. Once I got back, the second trade was great, because as I saw this happen, first 1 minute to make a pull after the first 1 minute pullback. So the first 5 minute made a new high, and then the first 1 minute candles made a pullback, and then the first 1 minute to make a new high after that pullback just couldn't have volume, couldn't run, and that's where I bailed out. And then the 5 minute candle opened up, and it basically went below 3, and I basically just put my order out at 301, got out on the ask, and I was gone. So second trade was great. The first trade was a little iffy, could have been better, but that's okay. That's a learning curve. That's what I need to learn. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back on tomorrow, Friday, and hopefully Friday would be a little turnaround day, a little green day. Now we have 3 red days back to back, so now we want to make sure we can have some sort of a green day, so we can set ourselves up for the following week. Hopefully following week we'll have some better follow through, some better trades, some better during market hours trade, not like pre-market after hours, because I don't trade those. So hopefully some good during the market hour trade, so we can take advantage of, and then we can bring our account back up, because it's not looking good. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow.